Welcome to Mystara for a who's who of the pointy-eared folks, the clan masters, and their closest advisors. It was initially just going to be the clan masters, but they didn't have enough information in their entries for a full-length video, so I decided to add the tree keepers, and there was only 2 of them mentioned. The clans in the book are not represented anywhere near equal. Instead, I grabbed every one of their closest advisors and assistants to give you something of an idea of how the clans are governed. I'm Mr. Welch, and today we are looking at Elf, the other white meat. First, we need to refresh your course on the 7 clans of Alfheim so you remember which clan is famous for what. Originally there were just 6, but the 7th arrived not too long ago in Elf years, which has caused some lingering resentment in them demanding equal status among the other clans that built the nation. There are other clans than the 7, but these are minor clans that lack a tree of life to call their own, and as a result, rarely number anywhere near 100 members. Elves can be clanless, usually done as a sign of rebellion, and by law, the king of Alfheim belongs to no clan. Josem are the merchants. They are the most welcoming of outsiders and one of the wealthiest clans. Arendil is the royal clan and the best craftsmen, and they will lord over you with both of those facts. Theodel are the newcomers and are heavily invested in magical research, though they are often paranoid and distrustful of anyone not from their clan. Grunolf maintains the forest, making up the majority of the rangers and tree keepers, and mostly keep to themselves. Longrunner is the most isolated of clans, simply because their territory comes nowhere near the border, and rumors that they are all 2 foot tall and come from a world with 2 moons are obviously not true. Mialadil are the scholars and cultural busybodies of Alfheim, and they will lord over you with both of those facts. Red Arrow are the warriors who deal with the incursions from outside Alfheim and don't get along with non-elves. Clan Blackshield cannot be reached for comment. A side note, the elves can have a single name or 2 names depending on whether they have a use name that they chose for themselves or were rewarded with, or their real name that was given to them at birth. Beast Hunter is the leader of Clan Longrunner. He is a slayer of monsters, leader of adventurers, and cutter of trees. He is the oldest of his clan, as is typical for a clan master, but at 650 years old, he is the youngest of all the masters. He is an intense elf who has adventured all over the nation, but has never once set foot outside of it. He hunts the monsters that escape from the bad magic spots, and has become legendary in his abilities. He's actually tolerant of outsiders to Alfheim, though he does make it a point to showcase elven superiority in all cases. Because elf. Linwyl Chosem is obviously the master of Clan Chosem, and he received the position solely because of his age. He's a merchant, not a fighter. But he has defended the caravans on multiple occasions. He's not even a great merchant. He delegates most of his duties to his subordinates instead. He is a good salesman, and he will pitch various products to the appropriate parties, but he'd rather have someone else do that if necessary. He is known as this mysterious and elusive figure, ruling Clan Chosem from the shadows, rarely letting himself be seen outside of council meetings. In reality, he's just doing the job because it's his duty, one that he doesn't enjoy at all. In his defense, he does sport a rocking beard for an elf, though. Brindian Arendil leads Clan Arendil, as that wasn't apparent. She's known more for her craftsman's side than her governing side, though she's not a slouch at paperwork. She is famous for the speed at which she works. Usually an elf will take his sweet time on projects, because elves. Brindian, on the other hand, when she starts something, she can't stop until it's finished. She finishes jobs in weeks, not months, making the other clan members think she's a taskmaster. This also applies to politics, which means Clan Arendil actually gets public works done on time, unlike literally every other clan. Diradil Fiadil is the Stephen Hawking of elves, a brilliant mind trapped in an infirm body. He was the victim of a withering curse that left his frame a husk, but his mind intact. He is carried around in a sedan chair by his 2 attendants because he can barely walk, despite having a constitution of 15 in the stats because elf. Being the oldest of his clan, he remembers their flight from the Sylvan Realm after the conquest of the wizard Morcroft, and is the foremost expert in all subjects regarding their old home. In the council meetings, he is the voice of reason, settling disputes from the more stubborn clans. Mialadan Mialadil is known for 2 things, his epic beard that looks comically large on him, and the fact that he rarely leaves the clan library. He is devoted to study, making him negligent in performing his other duties. He doesn't like visitors from other clans and is openly dismissive of other races. No one is allowed into his library without permission. And that usually requires a mandate from the king, a sign from the immortals, and a personal honor guard from Alfheim's elite military unit to get the visitor past Mialadin. Even when he's at court, it's obviously he wants to go back to his library. Red Sword True Talker is the commander of Clan Red Arrow and has earned the honor of 2 use names given to him for bravery. He is their clan master, and keeping with their military tradition, he uses the title of commander instead. He has the reputation of being a savage beast in combat, slaughtering foes in a tornado of blood and death until the only thing remaining on the field is Red Sword and the severed heads of his enemies. This would be a lie, and a well-crafted one at that. The commander, instead, is a true student of war, both as a military officer and a swordsman. His reputation is a running joke among his troops who embellish the stories with each telling. He's an excellent swordsman and a master tactician. He would never mindlessly charge the enemy, preferring to bring it down at range or weaken it through magic so they could finish it off up close. Still, he encourages the stories because many a bandit or humanoid has fled or surrendered without resistance at the sight of Red Sword's banner. Durafern Widefarer is the last of the clan masters, representing Clan Grunolf, though he is rarely found in his official position. He took the duty when he became the oldest elf in his clan, though he would prefer wandering his nation's forests. He is quick to make up his mind but doesn't like giving out his opinion unless pressed. This has caused many problems in clan meetings as he tends to zone out on debates regarding subjects he's already decided on. He's not a good leader, but he is representative of his people with their focus on internal matters rather than the bigger picture. Arlone Treelife is the representative of Clan Grunolf after spending 120 years as the nation's leader of Alfheim town. He has only recently become the face of the clan, a task he was excited to obtain. He is one of the most gregarious elves you will ever meet, always willing to help and showcase Grunolf's benefits to Alfheim. He's a little too friendly at times, but he does make it a point to meet any member of the clan approaching him for help. He's also rather fond of adventurers and will try to help them in their various missions, as their habit of cleaning out monsters in dungeons reduces the threat to the nation. Even when he has to turn down their requests for aid formally, he will steer them towards someone who can help off the books. Carlson was adopted into Chosim after his clanhold was wiped out by unknown attackers. He has worked hard to become Linwill's trade advisor, one which the clan master trusts and delegates large amounts of authority. He is an expert in trade matters and international policies, taking all the meetings and compiling all the information his superior can't be bothered with. Carlson has more power than an elf of his position would usually have, which is attributed to Linwill's disinterest in the duties of his office, which is going to bite him because Carlson's a Shadow Elf spy. Cool Hands is the wife of Beastmaster and originally Donna Ilona de Belcadiz, a Glantrian who came to study the Tree of Life and ended up falling in love with the clanmaster. She was given the use name Cool Hands, though she uses her true name when dealing with members of her old clan. Her past is no secret to anyone. She has been a significant influence on clan longrunners. She's the only foreigner many of them have ever met. She dresses in the traditional leathers of her adopted clan, but crafts them to be rather stylish, like the Belcadiz fashions. She is famous for her healing skills, brutal honesty, and ability to eat 50 boiled eggs. Joradrin Fiadiel is the tree keeper of his clan and an elf in sore need of a lot of therapy. He vividly remembers the fall of the Sylvan lands and tends to wake up in a sweat from his nightmares. He has thrown himself into his duties, often ignoring his social responsibilities. Jordan looks sickly. He is pale and thin, even for an elf. No one has approached him with their concerns for his well-being. He is the tree keeper. He's supposed to be the wisest of all elves. However, his wisdom fails him when it comes to his health. Terragrin Oakbranch is the official guardian of Alfheim town and a counselor to Durafern. He is a recent appointment, having spent a century as an adventurer. He watches over the town as its mayor, sheriff, and guildmaster, having the final say in disputes. In his opinion, he tends to find the average resident not to his liking, as city life tends to bring out the stupid in people. He has countless stories of the idiots he deals with regularly, stories he is happy to share with friends over a glass of wine. The few townsfolk that have impressed him, he will go out of his way to help. It's his job to make sure Alfheim town is a success, so if someone rises above the morons living there, they are worth helping to succeed. He's not a racist. His years of adventuring have introduced him to all the major races. He just has little patience for those who try him. Charlacran is in charge of caravan personnel for Clan Chosim, a rather important position. He was originally an adventurer, spending some time in Rockholm and Yelarum briefly. He has a soft spot for fellow adventurers and is comfortable in non-elf company, which draws an eyebrow among his peers. He shows favoritisms towards adventurers when he hires caravan guards, which could bite him if he's not careful, but Charlacran does have an eye for talent. He also has a habit of using all of his spare time to adventure, which is frowned upon by Linwill, but it's not against the rules. Starwatcher is the tree keeper of Clan Longrunner, best friend to Beastmaster and the most powerful wizard in Alfheim, or at least magic-using elf. He studies the magic of the Tree of Life with a passion, and he has just started his path to immortality, and his understanding of the sacred relic is critical to that. He has little in the way of social skills. If you aren't asking about magic, he has no idea what you're talking about. He is intolerant of other races. He thinks Alfheim should only be for elves, a belief his leader does not share. Starwatcher would settle for just kicking out outsiders from Longrunner territory, but considering Beastmaster's wife is from Glantry, that proposal isn't going to fly either. The book doesn't mention 5 of the tree keepers, but there were enough advisors and such so that I didn't have to make them up just to pad the video. None of the minor clans get so much as a mention, but without a Tree of Life, your clan has no political power and less respect. The clan masters are impossible to meet at low level. They will delegate the hiring of adventurers to their underlings, like Charlacran, Even when you are high level, several of them have no time for you either because of prejudice or just their own personal disposition. If a player wants to become a major clan master, all they have to do is outlive all the elves in their clan currently alive, and the job is automatically theirs. Easy enough. Next week, we're headed to the Etruscan Revised book to look at the Lighthouse Expedition. The group of explorers who just discovered the world was inside out. Until then, remember to keep your eyes sharp and your ears sharper.